Hi, it's Chris from Stamp Blessings, and I'm so glad to be here on May 3rd. It's the first Monday of May, and exciting news is that we have a new catalog out from Close to My Heart. So every 2 months comes a new catalog. This is the May-June one, and this is all about summer. I'll just do a quick walkthrough. It has our card subscription and scrapbooking subscriptions in the front, so you can check those out. The new paper pack and family is called Hillside Cottage, and it's really a beautiful, I don't know what you call it, kind of an antique-y feel. So, and I think the animals are kind of Scandinavian-ish, but they have some new wood shapes that are really fun. And this is why I think it's Scandinavian-ish, because of the animals, which is really, they're cute. Don't forget that Close to My Heart does have a Cricut Collection then that comes out with each paper pack. So in this case, this is just a small sampling of what you get. They are $9.99 and they're exclusive for 1 year. And then after a year, if you're an Access Cricut member, then you do have access to these. But if you want to own them forever, then this is a good time to buy them. And it's not really a bad price point. We have some scrapbooking kits, and then again, a card making kit. And then there's also like a very fun 4th of July theme. Hi, Melissa, and hi, Brigitte. It's good to see you guys tuning in. Great for scrapbooking. There's a balloon card kit. And there's some fun if you have the this spinner die, which I just broke down and got myself. But this new card set called Desserts a la Whirl go with the spinner die, so that's kind of a fun thing. And we do have, I passed it by, but another stamp set to go with the shaker kits. So you'll be seeing me play with this a little bit. And then today I'm going to be working with our stamp of the month, which is really pretty. It's called Flowers for You. And I'm going to be doing some Emboss Resist, which is inspired by this card. I will show you that today also we have a new special. It's the National Scrapbooking Month special, different than our scrapbooking day, and it's called You Are Enough. One thing I saw as I passed by, we do have a new Sunburst background thin cuts die. So if you find it tedious to try and figure out measurements like that, this die will cut it for you instantly, which is kind of nice. And they have, to go in the circle of it, these stamp sets down here, which are called Spot On Sentiments. So that's just a quick walkthrough of the new May-June catalog. I also wanted to show you this kit, which is, I did buy the whole You Are Enough bundle. I'm usually not an entire bundle person, but you know what? By the time I added everything up, it really made sense. So as part of this kit, you get your Picture My Life cards, and a lot of people use these for card making even. So if you're not a scrapbooker and you think, I don't really need them, these can be used on cards, whether you just trim it down and make a card out of that and add a little doodad, or you use these, as backgrounds. So there's really, even if you're a card maker, you can still find use for these. It also includes a stamp set, and you can buy just the stamp set alone, or you can buy it with the matching thin cuts. And I like it because you can change out the wording. So you are beautiful, or I am brave. So that's one of the items. Probably my favorite is this die set. And I did use it. I had a sneak peek last month. I did use this before, and these three butterflies layer together, but just to give you an idea of how big they are, the catalog says it's 3 3/4, so they're quite nice. And I'll be using for today's project the smaller butterflies. So these cut with a lot of detail, and I haven't finished punching it all out, but this is the really layered die that layers then on top of this die, and then you can have one more solid die underneath it if you want. So you can layer up to 3 layers for the big butterfly. The papers are quite exquisite too. I had forgotten how nice they were, and it's a little bit like last year where we had some textured solid cardstock. So you do get the solid cardstocks, but then you get some cardstock with rose gold foil. So you can see how pretty that is. It comes in the pink and the maroon, navy blue, which is sapphire, sorry. But in the pinks and peach, so a little bit added. I'm gonna make sure I get the right pieces, and there you go. So this pattern changes a little bit, and it's a little bit of a diamond. So you can also, it comes with the stickers, so if you're a scrapbooker, those are especially nice, but you can put these on cards too. And then there's the cardstock in there, which is also quite lovely, and you get 2 of each sheet, so they're quite nice. And I've already cut up some of the cardstock that has the rose gold in it, and I'll be sending these out to my hostesses for Hostess Club this month. So card kits are coming, stay tuned. And of course, you know, we have these zip strips, which never go to waste. And you know what, there's some butterfly sequins in here too that I almost forgot about. So there's quite a bit, and if you add up, you know, if you wanted 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4 things, you'll find, like I did, that the bundle really made sense. Okay, done with my sales pitch, although I try not to be too sales pitchy. We are going to be using today's stamp of the month, and I in advance created some fun little tags, and I used both just plain cardstock, white cardstock, and watercolor paper. And I'm not sure if you can tell which is which. I had to look very carefully. This is actually plain cardstock, and this is watercolor. So really, it doesn't really make a difference which you use. They both look pretty good. If you have scraps of watercolor paper like I do, this tag, this is the Close to My Heart tag bundle. It's just nice for using up scraps. So, but that just shows you I'm going to be doing both. But these were inspired by, online today I saw, I think it was called, it's from the Rubber Stamper. I'll have to check again, but anyway, I did get inspired by these little tags. I always like tags, and I'm going to try putting them on a card, but now is a great time to give a little gift. This week is our Teacher Appreciation Week, so these will look really cute. And here are the 2 dies then also from the bundle that I just showed you. One, I cut out a solid in vellum and then just layered white, and here I did a little distress sponging on that. So let's go ahead and get started with these tags. I'll lay them here to the side, and oops, my phone wire is kind of hanging in the way. Let's see. All right, sorry to make you dizzy. In preparation, I did use some white daisy ink, and I inked up the 2 stamp sets, this big border, and I varied the location of what I stamped on my tags. So sometimes I just went and got the middle part with these 2 taller ones, and other times here I got this little bit, and then I would go in and add a smaller little blossom to fill in. I could have used these bigger ones too, or these dots. It would have been fine either way. but I did prepare 2 tags, again, one in White Daisy and one in watercolor. I just got a few more Distress Oxides in from Close to My Heart, so we do carry these now, and I'm glad to say that most of them are in stock, so that's nice. I have the Peeled Paint, the Peacock Feathers, and Abandoned Coral. Those were my original ones. And now I added Pumice Stone, Mustard Seed, and Picked Raspberry. And I won't be using the Pumice Stone today, so I'll put that aside. I like to work with this mat, and one of the things I forgot was to bring up a paper towel just to keep my hands from getting inky. So I'm going to run and get really quick. Let's see if I have anything in here. I don't, of course. So let's just cross our fingers that I don't make too big of a mess. And we'll go ahead and get started with here. And Close to My Heart also does sell these applicators, but you can get those at Michael's or wherever. If you have a coupon, you can do that, or you can use your Close to My Heart cash too to get a few of these. We also carry the sponges, and I like to just snip those down into smaller sizes. So I'll be using both today, just depending on what I need. And I like to just keep the colors with each other. So I'll go ahead and peel off this first one, and it's always a good idea to keep your thumb on that so you don't start ripping off this piece. And I'm just going to start with a little green in the corner, and I'm going to replicate my tag because it came out good the first time, so I figure, just stick with it, and I'm just giving a little bit back and forth, and that's all I really need, and that's done. I could do both tags actually at the same time, and let's do that. Let's be efficient, and you'll see that I have 2 different images there. So again, I'm making sure that I keep my fingers there. And you know what? I already feel that my hands are getting inky, so give me 1 second while I run and get a diaper wipe. All right, I have learned from experience, unfortunately, that I have ruined projects before, and I also brought a Kleenex to hold this. All right, so now I'm going to just turn it, and I think I'll wipe this extra ink off just to make sure I don't ruin anything. The next one I want to use is a little bit of the Peacock Feathers. So I'm wondering how many of you already do distress or, emboss and resist. That's what I wanted to say. This emboss resist technique. I just love it. And if I go up a little bit higher, I noticed that I could create a purple even though I don't have the purple ink, but just by mixing some of the blue with the pink, I'll be able to make my own purple, which is always a nice thing about these inks. All right, and then I want to come in with the yellow. Just wipe off my mat. Turn these around, and for the yellow I'm just using a sponge so you'll be able to see really how easy that is. So Melissa says she's been a fan of Tim Holtz for a long time. He does have great products. It's incredible. All right, and this goes on just as easy, and really I find no difference with applying to the watercolor paper or just this solid cardstock, this White Daisy. They both just go on beautifully. Then I wanted to come in with a little bit of my pickled raspberry. And this is where I think that I can create my purple. And then I'll even get a little orange there, I think. We'll see how good my color knowledge is. Yep, here comes the purple and a little bit of orange. And it just really starts to pop now as the inked part resists it. And I ended up using clear embossing powder because I realized I need to stock up on my white. So this was stamped in the white daisy ink that I was mentioning, and then I embossed with clear embossing powder. I hadn't mentioned that part earlier. So I really am happy with the results. And now I just am going to come in and add a little abandoned coral for a little pop. And it's not too reddish, it's just right, I think. Maybe come back in with some yellow here. Drag that out. That's the nice thing about these distress inks, that they do layer, so you can really kind of blend them out. This is where it's dangerous. I'm touching it with inky fingers, so I learned this from my upline Lisa. If you use a tissue, you won't spread the ink, so that's nice. So look at how beautiful those two tags came. They turned out really nice. Now to just let it pop a little bit more, I can take a tissue and then just rub over the area that I colored, and that'll make it pop just a little bit more. See how that one especially really came out. And if you notice, I didn't do any extra stamping up here at the top. I thought, I'm going to try one just plain. So this is the butterflies that were die cut before, and they're really easy. If you have our piercing tool, which I have right here, I don't think we sell it unfortunately anymore, but it is perfect for just poking out these little pieces so that you can see it just pops out really well. And if you find that it doesn't come out that well, you can just rerun it through your machine. And I was able to line it up perfectly and rerun it without ruining it. So I won't take the time to pop that one out. I think though that I'll just add a little color to this bottom piece, and the pink worked out pretty well. So let's just keep with the pink. And I'm just kind of using what I have on my sponge yet. And I'll use my applicator here. Drag it out. I could also just have wet my mat and tried to pick up any loose pieces. And of course, you know that if you drop some water on here, you'll get a nice speckled effect. So Melissa said she learned during the Scrapbooking Live on Facebook this weekend. Close to my heart did their National Scrapbooking event live, 2 days, 12 hours on Saturday. It was mind-boggling how those ladies could keep going that long, but she learned to use this piercing tool also to pick up gems, which is a great tip. So this might be more peachy than I had wanted, but yeah, it is kind of too peachy. So let's just go with another one. And let's see, not sure. Well, actually what I could do is just come in and add a little bit more of this raspberry. And I'm just lifting up the leaves, and there, that's all I needed to do. And now I have more of a two-tone butterfly. I bet it would have looked nice in orange too. So anyway, I mean, that's how easy it is to fix something. I had this hello from the cherry blossoms cut out, and I thought that might be pretty there. Would also be pretty right here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I wanted to show you how I keep my scrap ribbon. This here I black embossed, so it's got a nice little shine, and then I hand cut it. I don't mind fussy cutting, so that's a good thing. And I'm gonna just put this butterfly right there, and I like to just put a little glue in the middle. This is how I store my leftover scraps of ribbon. So anything that's like 6 inches or less, sometimes a foot, but I put all my scrap ribbon in here. So I had a lot of fun digging through to find these little scraps of ribbon. So you could see that they would be too fluffy for a card, but they would be great on a bottle of wine or a package of cookies or chocolates. I used the same thin cut die that I used for this, and then I just dyed some scraps of the mix-ins. So these are retired mix-in paper packs. And again, you just have to decide, okay, which side am I going to use? But I kind of like the neutral sides, although on this one here, I went with that pattern there. I felt it picked it up, but I think for this one, oh, my butterfly is not dry yet. Did I ever put glue on the back? Yeah. But for this one here, I went ahead and I used one of Close to My Heart's new background dies. I'll just pop out those extras. This is such a pretty lattice print. So if you overlook this in the catalog, it's really nice. And Lisa this weekend did a card where she used this as a border and then layered on top of it. So it's really pretty. But I think that this would make a really nice card with just a little bit of ribbon, not too much. I wanted a neutral background. So we'll see if I can find anything that goes in this moment really quick. I think the green would pick it up. I have a little piece here of what is that, rickrack? Oh my goodness, I have so much in here. I should have probably pre-planned this, but and then this purple is kind of nice. I think I might go with the purple and the green. Here I said I didn't want to make it too fluffy, but go ahead and just loop those through. You could do the loop where you fold two layers through, or for this I just like to poke it through and then tie it off. I probably would have tied it off with some twine. That might make it thinner. So I might come back and do that because it's still pretty thick here. But yeah, let's just go with it for it. That way you're not spending too much time watching me. So this is really easy to glue. I just use my fine tip and just run it around. I think the key with using glue is you want to just make sure that you don't go too thick on it. And I already had pre-scored my card. Actually, if I didn't stick a butterfly on, I could even do that. Let's just knot this really quick, just so that you can see it. And that way it's not as busy. So I'm just going to run some glue there, a little glue there, put it into position, and now my card is ready. And that seems to actually be holding pretty well. I could put a glue dot behind it if I was worried. It just needs to be have some weight put on it for a little bit. Well, anyway, I'm glad that you tuned in for my Monday motivation. Don't forget that if you are a VIP and you spend $50, you get this stamp of the month for free. And if you're not a VIP, you can still get it for $5 when you spend $50. And if you just like it and want to get it, you can just buy it outright. So that's one of the nice things about Close to My Heart, that you can really get their stamps of the month in different ways. I hope this inspired you to play around with some of your inks and some of your stamps and see how they look embossed. Thanks for tuning in on my Monday motivation, and I'll see you next week. Bye.